Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will explore the depths of Ulysses by James Joyce. Ulysses by James Joyce, first published in 1922, is a landmark modernist novel. It is structured as a day in the life of Leopold Bloom, a Jewish man living in Dublin, Ireland, on June 16, 1904. The novel mirrors the Odyssey by Homer, drawing parallels between Bloom's ordinary day and the epic adventures of Odysseus. Joyce's groundbreaking narrative techniques, stream of consciousness writing, and exploration of themes like identity, nationalism, and the human condition make Ulysses one of the most influential works of the 20th century. Plot summary. Morning breaks over the Martello Tower in Dublin, where Buck Mulligan, a bold, mocking medical student, prepares to shave. His companion, Stephen Dedalus, a young teacher and artist, watches quietly, burdened by inner turmoil. Mulligan's irreverence grates on Stephen, who harbors resentment for a comment Mulligan once made about Stephen's deceased mother. As Mulligan teases, Stephen's thoughts wander through his guilt over his mother's death and his frustrations with life. A third man, Haynes, an Englishman, lodges with them, adding to the tension. After a strained breakfast, Stephen refuses to lend Mulligan the key to the tower, feeling isolated even among supposed friends. Leopold Bloom begins his day by preparing breakfast for his wife, Molly, whose lingering presence in bed hints at a languid sensuality. She has an appointment later with Blazes Boylan, her manager and soon-to-be lover, a fact Bloom avoids confronting directly. Bloom leaves the house and, walking through Dublin's streets, muses on mundane subjects, his Jewish identity, bodily functions, and fleeting thoughts of his son Ruddy, who died in infancy. His day is punctuated by encounters that, while ordinary, trigger waves of memory and emotion. Stephen, meanwhile, arrives at the school where he teaches, distracted and detached. His students seem distant, and his mind is elsewhere, wandering through philosophical musings, religious skepticism, and personal guilt. His conversation with the headmaster, Mr. Deasy, further isolates him. Deasy lectures him on money and success, both of which Stephen dismisses, feeling increasingly disconnected from the traditional paths others expect him to follow. He leaves, determined to escape Dublin's stifling environment, though uncertain how. Bloom's day unfolds through encounters with Dubliners, each offering a glimpse into his compassionate and observant nature. As he walks through town, he buys a bar of soap, visits the butcher, and wanders into a funeral for Paddy Dignam, an acquaintance. At the cemetery, Bloom reflects on death, the body's decay, and his father's suicide. The ever-present thought of Molly's impending infidelity with Boylan haunts him, though he tries to push it aside. Throughout the day, Bloom's thoughts oscillate between his role as husband and father, his suppressed grief over Ruddy, and the deep loneliness he feels within his marriage. Later, Bloom and Stephen's paths begin to converge, though neither is aware of the other just yet. Bloom visits the National Library, where Stephen engages in a spirited discussion about Shakespeare, offering his controversial interpretation of Hamlet. Stephen's argument, infused with personal insights and literary references, leaves his listeners intrigued, but Stephen remains disconnected, feeling the weight of his intellectual isolation. Meanwhile, Bloom continues to drift through the city. His wanderings take him to a newspaper office, a maternity hospital, and eventually to the beach at Sandamount. There, Bloom watches Gertie MacDowell, a young woman who, sensing his gaze, subtly reveals her legs in a moment of erotic tension. This voyeuristic encounter stirs Bloom, yet it leaves him feeling more isolated and reflective. He thinks again of Molly and Boylan, their afternoon tryst now surely underway. As the day turns to evening, Bloom finds himself at Barney Kiernan's pub, where a heated discussion about politics and Irish nationalism unfolds. Bloom's Jewish heritage makes him a target for anti-Semitic jabs, yet he remains calm, deflecting the insults with quiet dignity. The pub scene turns chaotic, but Bloom eventually leaves, continuing his aimless journey through the city's streets. Stephen, on the other hand, is growing increasingly drunk, having joined his friends for a night of revelry. They visit the brothel district where Stephen's psychological state unravels. Haunted by visions of his dead mother and overwhelmed by guilt and confusion, he lashes out, breaking a chandelier in a fit of anger. Bloom, who has been nearby, watching the night unfold, steps in to help Stephen, recognizing in the young man something of himself, a lost soul searching for meaning. Bloom, ever the caregiver, takes Stephen back to his home. The two men share a quiet moment in the kitchen, where Bloom offers Stephen a place to rest. They discuss life, art, and their respective struggles, yet the connection between them remains tentative. Bloom, fatherly in his approach, sees in Stephen the son he lost, while Stephen, still raw and defensive, hesitates to fully accept Bloom's kindness. After some time, Stephen decides to leave, and Bloom, though saddened, respects his decision. The night has been long, and Bloom returns to his bed, where Molly sleeps. In the early hours, Molly's thoughts take over the narrative. Her soliloquy reveals her inner life, her thoughts on love, sex, motherhood, and her affair with Boylan. She reflects on her relationship with Bloom, the passion they once shared, and her own desires and regrets. In this final chapter, Molly's voice brings the novel full circle, offering a candid and intimate glimpse into the mind of the woman who has been at the heart of Bloom's day. As she recalls the moment Bloom proposed to her, she concludes with a simple yet profound affirmation of life. Yes. If you loved this, don't stop here. Check out other books by James Joyce. You'll find them below or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in James Joyce's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.